Listen up, because I'm about to say something that's going to make some of you rage in the comments. Raw fans have been lying to themselves for months, claiming they have the superior show, but the 7th of November 2025 just exposed the truth that everyone's been too afraid to admit. SmackDown isn't just better than Raw, it's not even close anymore. And if you're sitting there ready to defend Raw, I dare you to watch this entire breakdown and tell me I'm wrong. Drop your angry comments below, because I'm about to prove why SmackDown is running circles around everything WWE has to offer right now. You think I'm being dramatic? You think I'm just clickbaiting? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll either be subscribing and admitting I'm right, or you'll be furiously typing in the comments about how biased I am. Either way, I win because you're engaging with this content. Now let's break down exactly what happened on the 7th of November that has the entire wrestling world buzzing. The opening segment that set the tone. SmackDown wasted zero time getting into the action, and I mean zero. The show opened with an in-ring segment that immediately had the crowd on their feet and social media exploding with reactions. We're talking about a promo that was so intense, so personal, so real that it felt less like entertainment and more like we were witnessing an actual confrontation between two people with legitimate beef. The mic work was absolutely elite level. Every single word landed with impact. Every pause was perfectly timed for maximum effect. And when things escalated from verbal to physical, the entire arena lost their minds. Security couldn't contain the chaos, and we got a preview of what's going to be an absolutely brutal rivalry moving forward. Here's my question for you: on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate that opening promo? Let me know in the comments. But what made this segment even more incredible was the unexpected twist that happened right at the end. Just when you thought you had it all figured out, SmackDown Creative threw us a curveball that nobody predicted. The camera work, the crowd reactions, the commentary team selling it like their lives depended on it, everything came together perfectly to create a moment that had people immediately rewinding and watching again. The women's division continues to dominate. If you've been sleeping on SmackDown's women's division, the 7th of November was your wake-up call. These women came out and delivered a match that would main event most shows, and they weren't even in the main event slot. The athleticism, the storytelling, the hard-hitting action, everything about this match screamed premium live event quality, but we got it on free television. The opening sequence alone was worth the price of admission. Chain wrestling that would make the technical masters of the past proud, transitioned seamlessly into high-impact offense that had the crowd chanting "This is awesome" before we even hit the 5-minute mark. These women weren't just wrestling, they were making a statement that they belong at the top of the card. Quick trivia question: which women's wrestler do you think stole the show tonight? Comment your answer below, and can we talk about that finish? Holy cow! The near falls had everyone believing it was over multiple times. The false finishes were perfectly executed to build drama without feeling repetitive or overdone. And when the final pinfall actually happened, the crowd reaction was thunderous. But here's what I loved most: the finish protected both competitors while clearly establishing who came out on top. That's how you book a women's match in 2025. The post-match angle was equally compelling. Without spoiling too much for those who haven't watched yet, let's just say that what happened after the bell rang has set up the next chapter of this feud in the most perfect way possible. The storytelling didn't end when the match ended, it evolved into something even more intriguing. Mid-card excellence that can't be ignored. You know what separates SmackDown from every other wrestling show right now? The mid-card actually matters. We got storylines and matches in the middle portion of the show that had the same energy, the same production value, and the same crowd investment as the main event scene. That's rare in modern wrestling, and it's something SmackDown deserves massive credit for. The tag team action delivered tonight was absolutely phenomenal. These teams went out there and worked like their careers depended on it. The psychology was on point, with proper tags, isolation work on a single opponent, and a hot tag sequence that brought the crowd to their feet. This is old-school tag team wrestling executed with new-school athleticism, and it's exactly what fans have been begging for. Let me ask you this: what's your favorite tag team on SmackDown right now? Drop their names below. But it wasn't just about the in-ring action. The character work happening in the mid-card segments was equally impressive. We got backstage interviews that felt genuine and unscripted, we got confrontations that elevated multiple storylines simultaneously, and we got moments of humor that didn't feel forced or out of place. SmackDown is firing on all cylinders right now, and it's beautiful to watch. The United States Championship scene also got major spotlight tonight, and rightfully so. The champion cut a promo that reminded everyone exactly why they are holding that title. The confidence, the swagger, the believability, everything about their character work screams star. And when the number one contender interrupted, we got a face-to-face confrontation that has me counting down the days until their eventual match. The Bloodline saga continues to captivate. You knew we had to talk about the Bloodline, and the 7th of November gave us another chapter in this ongoing saga that has defined SmackDown 4 years now. The family dynamics, the power struggles, the respect hierarchies, all of it came into play during tonight's segment, and the WWE Universe was glued to every second of it. What makes the Bloodline storyline so compelling is that it's layered. There's no simple good guy versus bad guy dynamic here. There are motivations, there are histories, there are complex relationships that make every decision and every action feel earned. When someone makes a move within the Bloodline, it's not random, it's the culmination of weeks or months of storytelling. Tonight's Bloodline segment had everything. We got the intensity you expect, we got the verbal confrontations that these performers have mastered, and we got physical action that left everyone wanting more. But most importantly, we got advancement of the story that sets up the next phase of this saga perfectly. Here's what I need to know from you. Where do you think the Bloodline story is headed next? Predictions in the comments. The crowd reactions during the Bloodline segment tell you everything you need to know about how invested people are in this storyline. Whether they are cheering, booing, or sitting in stunned silence, the WWE Universe is hooked on every single development. And SmackDown continues to deliver payoffs that feel satisfying while also opening doors to future storylines. That's expert-level booking. Return of a fan favorite shakes things up. Speaking of moments that had social media going crazy, we need to talk about the return that nobody saw coming. After being away from SmackDown for what felt like an eternity, a fan favorite superstar made their presence felt in a major way tonight. The pop from the crowd when that music hit was absolutely deafening. What I loved about this return is that it wasn't just about nostalgia. Yes, the crowd was thrilled to see this person back, but the way they returned immediately injected them into relevant storylines. They didn't just show up to wave at the crowd and leave, they showed up with purpose, with direction, and with clear intentions about what they are going to do now that they are back on SmackDown. The look on certain superstars' faces when this return happened told its own story. You could see the wheels turning in their heads, wondering how this changes the landscape of SmackDown moving forward. And that's exactly what a return should do. It should create ripple effects throughout the entire roster. The main event delivered everything we hoped for, and now we get to the main event, the match that everything was building toward all night long. These two superstars went out there and put on an absolute masterclass in professional wrestling. From bell to bell, they told a story that had the crowd hanging on every near fall, every submission attempt, every high-impact move. The psychology of this match was perfect. They didn't just do moves for the sake of doing moves. Every action had a purpose, every counter made sense, every comeback felt earned. This is the kind of main event that reminds you why you fell in love with wrestling in the first place. Quick question, who do you think had the better performance in the main event? Let me know your thoughts. The near falls in the final 5 minutes had everyone in the arena on their feet. You could feel the tension building with each kickout, with each desperate attempt to put the opponent away. The referee's hand was inches from hitting 3 multiple times, and each time someone kicked out, the crowd erupted. This is the kind of main event that creates legendary moments. And that finish, without spoiling it completely, let me just say that the way this match ended has massive implications for the coming weeks. The result wasn't just about who won or lost, it was about what happens next, and that's what great storytelling is all about. The post-main event angle that nobody expected. Just when you thought SmackDown was wrapping up, they hit us with one more thing that has everyone talking. After the main event concluded, we got a segment that nobody predicted, involving superstars we didn't even know were in the building. The shock on everyone's faces, both in the arena and watching at home, was palpable. This is what makes SmackDown must-see television right now. They are not content with just delivering a good show, they want to deliver a show that has people immediately texting their friends, posting on social media, and making sure they tune in next week. The ending of November 7th's SmackDown accomplished all of that and more. Final thoughts and looking ahead. So there you have it, Wrestling Zone family. The 7th of November 2025 was proof, undeniable, irrefutable proof, that SmackDown is operating on a different level right now. From the opening segment to the final shocking moment, this show delivered non-stop entertainment, advancement of multiple storylines, and moments that will be talked about for weeks. If you're still not convinced that SmackDown is the best show in WWE right now, I honestly don't know what more evidence you need. The in-ring work is phenomenal, the storytelling is compelling, the characters are developed and interesting, and the crowd is invested in everything happening. That's the recipe for great professional wrestling. Now I need to hear from you. What was your favorite moment from tonight's show? What storyline are you most invested in? What matches do you want to see in the coming weeks? And most importantly, do you finally agree with me that SmackDown is running the game right now, or are you still going to deny the obvious truth? Smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 if you haven't already, because we're bringing you the best wrestling analysis on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we drop new content. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms for bonus content and behind-the-scenes updates. Drop all your thoughts, reactions, predictions, and hot takes in the comments below. I read every single comment, and I'll be jumping in to respond to as many as I can. Let's keep this conversation going, because that's what makes this community so amazing. This has been Wrestling Zone 1, breaking down November 7th's incredible edition of SmackDown. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, keep watching SmackDown because they are clearly just getting started.